Our next guest has got skin in the game, as it were. Investor in Beyond Meat. He's also developed his own plant-based meat substitute called Omnipork, made of mushrooms, peas, soy, and rice. David Yeung is the founder of Green Comment. David, tell us about this.
Yes, well, we are in Asia, and in Asia, of course, the most consumed meat is pork.
East Asia.
East Asia, yes. So China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, all these countries. So, for us, we have been studying the food supply chain, particularly with industrial animal farming, and we see that as a very unsustainable practice. To feed 7.7 billion people in the world right now, and very soon 9 to 10 billion people, we need alternative. We need more efficient way to produce meat, and also much less carbon footprint as well.
In terms of the growth of this market, do you see it more from vegetarians like yourself, just expanding their options, or are you actually getting converts?
No, I think the entire alternative meats or alternative protein market right now is looking at the entire population, not just at that 1 or 2 or 3% vegan vegetarian population, but everyone, because the idea is we need a better, more sustainable, healthier way, and also to many people more humane as well, to feed the world, and also cut down on environmental footprint, because meat is just such a huge reason of carbon footprints, water footprints, and it is a very inefficient way to produce food to feed the planet.
And of course, you have this African swine flu.
Yes, and then the African swine fever right now.
That's giving you a little bit of an advantage, I guess, as well. I'm just wondering some of the challenges involved. I mean, you hear the big boys like Tyson, Nestle, they're all getting into the space with pretty low barriers of entry right now. How do you differentiate yourself with these meat giants versus people that are just coming into the space?
Well, first of all, I think the awareness in Asia is just starting right now. I mean, we have been doing this for the last 7 years. Our group established in 2012, and we've been telling everyone. I go around, do a lot of talks, a lot of interviews, sharing, what are the scientific reasons why we need new alternatives. So I think in Asia in particular, this game or this space is just beginning, and it coincides with the timing of African swine fever, which is really telling people that industrial farming has this major loopholes right now, and the shortage of pork in China and in all Asia is huge. Vietnam alone, I mean, the last 3 months they have lost 2.2 million pigs since ASF hit Vietnam in February. So it's a very short time, and they're losing a very big part. I think there are a lot of reports and analysts who are forecasting that by the end of this year, China pork price will climb anywhere from 50 to 80% within this year of 2019. That is going to cause, number one, of course, inflation, but secondly is a huge panic when it comes to the entire food supply chain and where do we scramble for that protein. So I think, because we start so much earlier, we have a head start, and the overall education, I think, is also very important.
David, we are on Bloomberg, so let's talk the finances.
Sure.
Are you making a profit? What sort of funding requirements do you need? What's your exit strategy? IPO, perhaps a trade sale? What's the deal here? Well,
first of all, in terms of our expansion in Asia, in the last year alone, based in Hong Kong, we start from Hong Kong, but our product can be found in Thailand, in Singapore, in Taiwan, and by the end of this year, reaching China as well. So number one, we're talking a very fast growth in terms of the demand for this in this region.
Can you keep up with supply then?
We have been planning for that, so we plan very aggressively in terms of the ramp up, knowing that once it hit the market, and it is proving with the restaurants, consumers, supermarket chains, they are telling us that the reception is very positive. So with our early, very kind of aggressive but reasonable planning, we can fulfill that demand.
David, you didn't answer any of the 3 questions.
I interrupted him. That's my fault. But yeah, any kind of an IPO, anything in the pipeline?
I think in terms of the barrier to entry, there's capital, of course, is one. But I always look at food as also you need to adapt to the local flavor and palate. That's very important. And as for our plan, we are looking for, in terms of funding, we are funding it majority, but we are looking for mission-aligned investors, because to us, this is much more than just a single company in terms of commercial, but rather than, this is about triple bottom line, environmental, social, and from a business standpoint, how to create the maximum impact.
When we introduced you to this segment,
Yeah.
we said you had skin in the game. We didn't mean that in a sort of pork pun. It means, of course, you are an investor
Yes.
in Beyond Meat.
Yes.
How big is that investment? And like, those two things, do they complement each other? Do you have plans to increase that, decrease that? Well, what's the general
Well, first
sense?
of all, of course, Beyond Meat is a company based in LA, so they focus more on Western food, so burgers, sausage, breakfast sausage, and they have done very well. We are very happy to contribute in ways that we can. Hong Kong was the first market for Beyond Meat outside of the United States. So from a palate standpoint, I think with their pipeline, I'm sure they're developing more and more products that will cater to, not just the Western cuisine, but all over the world. But we are also looking at the huge gap in Asian food and Asian consumption. So they are very complementary. When you talk to a restaurant group or a hotel, I mean, they serve, obviously, there's Thai cuisine, Chinese cuisine, Western cuisine. So ideally, we want to be that one-stop solution, not just with alternative meats, but also non-dairy cheese, non-dairy milk that many consumers are looking for right now.